guys, welcome back to my channel Akwaba. If today is your first time watching any of my videos, you're most definitely welcome. So today I created this very soft glam look, no falsies, nothing extra, just also chit-chatting and get ready. It's a chit-chat get ready with me type of video. Just going to be telling you guys a story of how I got scammed, yes, or got duped of some good amount of money. This money was my life savings, guys. So if you want to hear all about it, keep on watching. And thank you so much for all the love on my previous post. But I'm not getting the subs, guys. Please subscribe to my channel. Don't only watch my videos and just walk past. I know you come back to come and check up on me again, so why not subscribe? Also turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss an upload from me. Leave me a comment in the comment section. I would love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Do enjoy. Mwah. Hello. So guys, we're going to be starting off doing the makeup. I'm sorry my voice sounds like this. I have a cold, but we are just going to manage and roll with it. So this story time is basically focusing on how I got duped. Yes, but this is not the first time I've been duped, so I'm just going to share this story with you guys. I'm currently using the Believe True Cream Moisturizing Balm. Yes, so I'm using that to moisturize my skin. Okay, so this happened about a year ago. Yeah, I think I was almost done with uni at that time, and then I was eager to buy an iPhone because at that time my business was growing, and then I wanted to get quality pictures and all of those things. So I decided to invest in an iPhone for my business. So I started searching for iPhones. I got some friends to recommend some people to me, but the deals they were giving me at the time were quite pricey. So I wanted the iPhone 7 Plus, the red one. Yeah. So I'm using the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. So I wanted that phone. So I started searching for deals. Some people refer some people to me, but the deals they were giving me, Charlie, it was too pricey. It came to mind that, oh, there's Tonaton. So Tonaton is like an online platform where buyers and sellers meet. It's like AliExpress for Ghana. So I went on Tonaton, and then I started searching for like an iPhone 7 Plus. I searched. The deals on Tonaton are actually pretty good. So I found this guy who was really cool. We started talking about the phone, and then he sent me some pictures and everything. So we confirmed everything, and we decided to meet at Fiesta Royal. It's a hotel in Jolu, in Accra. So we're supposed to meet at Fiesta Royal. So at that time, my boyfriend I was dating, let's call him Mr. X. So I called up Mr. X that, hey, I found somebody who is selling the iPhone I'm looking for. So can we please go and meet him tomorrow? So I'm just using the Milk Hydro Grip Primer for the rest of my face. So I use the Tatcha for my T-zone, and then I'm using the Milk Primer for the rest of my face. So I call Mr. X and I tell him, oh, Mr. X, I finally found a dealer, so let's go and check him out. So we decide to meet the guy the following day. So when we're leaving the house, I called the phone dealer that, hey, we've left the house, we're coming to meet you. He said, cool. We get to Fiesta Royal, we start calling this guy. I called several times, Mr. X called several times. This guy wasn't picking up. I did my brows off camera just to save time. So I'm going to just set my brows now with this powder, my Sephora powder. I'm just using that to, this is going to be a glam, not so glam look. I'm going for the soft glam look for this tutorial. So I Started calling this guy, he wasn't picking up. Mr. X called, no answer. So we just decided to wait for like 30 minutes. If we don't hear from him, we'll just, go our way. So we waited for 30 minutes. We were calling, still no response. Then Mr. X said, okay, let's just wait maybe an extra 10-15 minutes if we don't hear from him. So guys, I'm using this Anastasia palette. So Mr. X said if we call him again and we don't hear from him, we'll just go home using burnt origin. So we waited for some time again, and then we called. Still no response. So I started getting frustrated because I really needed a phone. The thing about this duping thing is they get you at the time that you are most desperate, okay? When you are desperate for the item, and they know that you are desperate, so they kind of take advantage of, your desperation. So I decided to just randomly, whilst we were still waiting for the phone dealer, I went back on Tonaton, this app, and then I started searching for other dealers because I really wanted to get the phone at that time. I don't even know what was wrong with me. I was just so desperate. And because I had gotten the money, I just wanted to buy it so that, I don't spend the money. So I started searching for other dealers around like the area we were in, so that if we find anybody who is around that side, we can easily, go and meet the person. So I'm using Realga in my crease. Yeah. So we decided to go in. I decided to go on Tonaton. So I was just searching, and then I came across one other guy who was like, let's say 20 minutes away from where we were. So I decided to call him. I called him and I said, hey, I saw you have the iPhone 7 Plus Red. Is it still available? He said, yeah, it's available. I said, okay, cool. Can we meet you and see it? He's like, oh, when? And I'm like, oh, now we are around. So if you're also available, we could just come over and meet you and then collect the phone and see the phone. So he was like, okay. He's not in Achimota, the area that the app said he was in, but he said he was at, it's around La Paz. La Paz is also another area in Accra. That was also still 20 minutes away. So I decided to just drive there and then let's go and meet this guy. So he told us to get to a certain bank, and when we get there, we should call him. So when we got there, we called him and he said, oh, he's coming to meet us. Like 10 minutes later, this guy doesn't show up. So I call again, and then he's like, oh, he's on the opposite side of the road. So if we could just come to that side instead. I was like, okay, cool. I need a phone, so let me just go. Then we went all the way to that side to go and meet this second phone dealer. So we got to a filling station, and he's like, oh, wait for me at the filling station. So we decided to park and just wait for this phone dealer. It took him so long to come. Like it took him, I don't know. I think it was just God talking to me that I should just forget this whole phone nonsense and then go home with my money. But stubborn me said, no, I need this phone and I must get it. So guys, I'm using this darker brown called Cyprus Umber or something. The darker one in my outer V. It's so hard trying to focus and talk, but we're going to do this. Yeah, so I'm just trying to blend that in. And this look is very, very simple. I'm trying to keep it as soft as possible, not do too much because we don't want to look too crazy. Because I have colored hair on as well, I don't want it to be over the top. Okay, so I'm going to cut my crease quickly. I'm going to use this Zaron Cosmetics Concealer to cut my crease quickly, and then we'll continue with the story. I'm using this MAC 242 brush to cut my crease. I have very hooded eyes, so I try to extend my concealer a little bit so that it still, it still shows even when my eyes are open. Yeah, so I've cut my crease like halfway. I'm not doing a full cut. And then I'm going to be using this shade from the Anastasia palette. It's called Primavera or something. Just going to tap that over the concealer. Yeah, like usually with cut creases you really have to take your time because you really don't want to mess up everything, because any small mistake could result in like a huge disaster and you probably have to start all over. So that's why I'm not talking so much. I want to concentrate and then finish with this side. So I'm going to go back in with the darker shade just to blend the shimmer and then, make it more defined. You have to keep going back and forth, blending, because we don't also want a very harsh line in between the two colors. So just take your time, work your way. Okay, so I'm done with my eyes now. I'm going to go in with the Kat Von D foundation, Lucky foundation in deep 83 cool. I'm just going to take like 1.5 pump of that, and then I'm going to be using my black opal stick foundation for the outer part of my face, and then the Kat Von D in the inner part. Okay, so Mr. X and I just chilled at the filling station waiting for this phone dealer. He kept saying, oh, I'm coming. And then one guy, the suspicious thing about this whole thing was I didn't notice till like after everything happened, then it all made sense. So one guy came to stand around where we had parked, for some time. I don't know if he was just observing us or I don't know, for whatever reason he came to stand there. So I didn't think anything about that because it's a public place, and then I just thought that, somebody was just probably, he was also waiting for somebody like we were. So like, let's say 30 minutes later, this phone dealer shows up. So when he came, he was holding a box, like a rubber with the box of the phone in it. So I just called him because he stood there for some time. It was like he was also not sure if we were the ones. So I finally called him and I'm like, hey, are you the phone dealer? Then he said, yeah. Then he came over. So he came to sit in the back of the car. So I was in front, Mr. X was driving, and then he sat at the back. So once he sat down, we started discussing price. I was like, so what's the final price you give me for the phone? And he was like, oh, I bet the phone, yes, 2,500 cedis. And I'm like, but when I called him, he told me he would give me a reduction. And he was like, okay, I should just inspect the phone and then we'll finalize the price. Okay. So I'm going to be using my Zaron concealer in Nubian to highlight. So the phone dealer said, oh, I should just inspect the phone and then we'll discuss the price after. So I said, okay, cool. He gives me the phone. It was new, fresh in box. All the accessories were still intact. Everything was fine. I was so excited, guys. I was excited. So I started inspecting the phone, and then Mr. X took the phone from me, and then he was trying to check the IMEI number. All those things that you usually check on a new iPhone. So we checked all of that. And then he even assisted us. Like, I was like, I'm not sure. I still want to put my SIM card in the phone, make a call before I'll pay him. Me there, I don't want any tricks. Then I'll go home and then now the phone will not be working. So when he gave me the phone was 4%. It was really low. So I even questioned him that he knows he's selling the phone to me. Why didn't he charge the phone before, you know, bringing it to come and meet us? And he was like, oh, he had already taken the phone to go and show to somebody, like, in the morning that same day. So he didn't get time to, like, go and charge it. I said, okay, no problem. So we checked everything. I put my SIM card. I made a phone call. Everything was fine. Like, everything was fine. Then Mr. X confirmed that the phone was original. So I was excited. Then at this point, the phone was still with the dealer collected the phone because he removed the SIM card for me. So at this point, he was holding the phone. So I collected the phone back from the dealer. And then at that time, he had put it in the box and everything. So I told him to give me back the phone. So he gave me back the phone. But I was very alert, you know, because I knew that these people can play very, very funny tricks. So I was very, very alert. Then I told him to give me back the phone. So when he gave me the phone, I opened it again. I checked everything. Everything was still intact, guys. Like, everything was still intact. The phone was still 4%. It was actually the same phone we had just checked. So he gave me the phone. Then we started talking about the money again. And this guy was just trying his possible best to just distract me, you know, just to distract me so that my mind won't be on him. But each time he tried it, I would just, you know, bounce back and then ask him something or do something. Then he's also like, okay, this girl is like really, really alert. So he tried that like twice. I didn't say anything. So we're still discussing price. He kept stretching the whole price thing, you know, just to get my attention off what he was planning to do. So finally, he said, okay, he will take my price. He will take the 2,200 cedis that I want to pay him. So I said, okay, cool. Guys, I'm setting my face with the same pretty vulgar powder I used the last time. So I started counting the money for him. But at this point, the phone was still with me. I hadn't given it back to him. The phone was still with me, but it was on my lap in the box, you know, but the box wasn't covered. So it was just lying on my lap. And then I took the money out of the dashboard because that's where I had put the money. So I started counting the money for him. And then Mr. X was sitting there watching me and still talking to the guy. So I finished counting the money. I gave it to Mr. X to also count it and make sure that I hadn't overpaid the guy. So Mr. X also took his time and counted the money. I was still holding the phone. So we paid the guy. I gave the money to the guy. He also counted it in the back seat. And then he told me, oh yeah, the money is up to. And then he was like, oh, won't I give him 50 cedis or some 20 cedis to buy food? And I was like, but you are the one selling the phone. And I have paid you for the phone. So you have money. You are the rich one now. Because me, you've collected all my money. So that's what I said to him. Then he laughed it off. Then he was like, okay, if I'm satisfied with the phone and everything, then he's leaving. I was like, okay, thank you so much for bringing the phone. And I was even querying him that, oh, he had delayed and he had wasted my time. And I even wanted to reduce the money. And he was like, oh, he's really sorry about that. And we laughed it off. And then this guy got down from the car. So the moment he got down from the car, I was like, let me just cross-check one last time to make sure that I hadn't been scammed. Guys, I'm using the MAC powder in NW58. So I decided to check this phone one last time. So I just put my head down and then I saw the box, I saw the phone. So I just thought everything was okay. Then I didn't even press the you know, the middle button of the iPhone. I didn't even press it. This time my hand just touched it and then the phone came on. The lights just came on and I was like, So I kept staring at the phone screen. And you remember I told you guys that the phone was 4% at the time that we were checking the phone. So this time when I just looked down and then I looked at this phone, the battery was immediately 40%. This was my reaction. Like, I was just looking at Mr. X's face like, wasn't it this phone that was 4% and it was almost dying? Then he was like, I should give him the phone, let him also check. So he checked, and then the phone was 40%, guys. The power button was shaky. Like, the phone just looked so different. The screen looked different. So I just looked out the window just to see if maybe the guy was still around or I'll still find him. Guys, at this point, this guy had vanished. Like, this is literally under 1 minute. I don't know how he vanished from the scene all of a sudden. So I saw him take, like, you know, there was this road close to the filling station. So that's the route he actually took. So I got down and then I started looking for him. And then I noticed the guy that came to stand around the filling station before the actual phone dealer came. I saw that guy. You know, so when the guy realized that I was also, you know, scouting and looking for the guy, I'm sure he called the other one that I've noticed that the phone is fake. So they should probably, you know, escape from the scene. Guys, I looked everywhere. I couldn't find this guy. See, at this point, this money was my life savings, guys. Like, you will not understand. I had saved so much for this phone. So for this to happen to me, it was like, it was so unreal. Like, I couldn't even believe that somebody has taken my money away. Like, free of charge. Somebody has taken my money. And you know, when these things happen to you, you don't realize how serious it is. Like, I want to say die, so you understand? Like it's a dream. So it's like, this thing is not happening. Oh, my phone is not gone. No, it's not fake. So I was just, you know, encouraging myself. Then Mr. X was like, I should just stop. No. I couldn't cry. I couldn't shout. I was just speechless. Like, and this was my first time, like, being scammed. I'm using the Sephora powder again. I'm using that to give myself some extra highlight and also to dust off the excess setting powder under my eyes. Okay. And then I'm going to go in with my BH Cosmetics blush palette to blush my cheeks. Yeah, so I mean, he was feeling bad that, like, he also didn't talk me out of going to buy the phone, even when the first dealer disappointed. But I was like, hey, it's not your fault, because I still insisted that we should go, and it's my money, so there's nothing he could have said to talk me out of it. Because I was really desperate, guys. I was really, really desperate, like, very, very desperate for this phone. So yeah, that's my story of how my 2,200 vanished. I dashed it to somebody in seconds. Somebody took my money. And it was so painful because I had really, really saved up for that phone. I had to work so hard to be able to buy that phone. So when that happened to me, I was shattered. Because I didn't go out for a whole week. Now me share them because your girl was broke and then I didn't have a phone. Because at that time, my Samsung Galaxy S5 I was using at the time had just gotten bent. So I was overcharging it and then the battery blew and then the phone bent literally. So I didn't have a phone I was using at that time. So do you guys understand, like, how desperate I was? And then I also got duped. So a whole week I was indoors. I was just thinking of how I was going to get the money again to go and buy another phone. Then luckily, people started dashing me money because everybody saw that I was really, really sad about this whole phone experience. And guys, like, this fraud thing is really, really real. Once your instinct tells you something like that, oh, this thing that you're doing, you're rushing it, you should just take your time, because the phone will always be there. If I had taken my time, I wouldn't have had to spend, I'm using a black eyeliner, I wouldn't have had to spend like double money getting this iPhone. Yeah. Guys, how do you like this look? I'm really feeling it. Okay, so I'm going to do my lips real quick. We are still keeping it very, very simple for the lips as well. I'm going to be using a brown lip liner to line my lips. Yeah, so I've really, really learned my lesson, and because of like this experience, I've become so vigilant. Like when somebody tells me something or I'm doing something, I'm going to buy something, and then my instincts just, tell me something otherwise. I really take it serious because sometimes your instincts may just be right. And if things just don't sit well with you, like don't even rush to do it. It's not worth it. Like, I mean, if I had just waited probably a week or so, I could have gotten the phone at a very good deal and then I wouldn't have been scammed. So my little advice to you guys is that, like, I mean, I get it that sometimes you can really, really be very desperate for something, but it will eventually come to you at the right time. So there's no point in like really, really rushing it. I'm using this Nuban Beauty Pro Gloss in Lily. This is a Nigerian brand. It's like a lip, yeah, it's a lip gloss, but it has a lot of color payoff. Yeah. And then I'm going to be spraying my face with the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. Yep. Yeah, this is pretty much the final look. Yep. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I shared my little story with you guys of how I got duped of my 2,200 cedis, my life savings at the time. I hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next one. And guys, please don't forget to subscribe. I see all my new subscribers, I see all my new viewers, but you guys are not subscribing. Subscribing is free. Nobody will collect your money. Nobody will dupe you. Please subscribe, okay? Please subscribe and support my channel. If you want to encourage me to do more of these looks, please subscribe. It will really, really help me, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Medasi Bebre.